Hello and welcome to the Confident at Work podcast. I'm your host and your confidence coach, Anna Manning, and I have a message for you today. Low confidence is not about personality. It is not who you are. So many people will say to me, it is who I am, it is how I am. And you know the problem with thinking that way and believing that, even though it feels so true, is essentially you're telling me if this is who I am, it's unchangeable. You're sunk. There's nowhere you can go from there. Because when you're really believing this low confidence, this doubt, this way I'm feeling right now at work, if this is how I am, if this is who I am, if this is just my personality, then you're out of options. So I want to talk about this belief today, and it may be a bit of a rant because this is a topic that I encounter a lot with clients, and either as a kind of blanket whole, so the low confidence, this is who I am and how I am completely, or in relation to a certain aspect, whether that's like panic or worry or stressing, this is who I am. And these beliefs, and I'm going to call them beliefs because that is all they are. They are not truths as I take it. They are not like the truth of the universe or even the truth about you. They are beliefs. They are a thought you are thinking. But when you think them and when you believe them, most likely you will stay in the grip of them. So I want you to imagine and cast your mind back to when you're a baby or when you were really little. Who were you then? How were you then? What was your personality then? If we could have seen you at like 8 months old, would people have said, oh, yes, that's a very low confidence baby. I can see that's what their personality is going to be like. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Have you ever heard anyone say that about a baby? No. You've probably heard people say, oh, they're really inquisitive, or they're really smiley, or they're really chill. I bet you've never heard anyone say, oh, they're really low confidence. It just isn't a thing. It's kind of irrelevant at that point because it isn't who you are. It never has been who you are. And if we shift forward into today and think through your career so far, yes, it may be true that maybe for the whole of your career, or just maybe for parts of it, you've experienced bouts of low confidence, or you felt like you were in a low confidence cycle. Now, even that probably hasn't been all of the time. I'm sure you've had moments of brilliance, moments where you felt totally relaxed, comfortable, confident, calm, just fine, neutral, where you were just getting on with things, doing your job, cracking through, doing all right. But when you have this frame of reference, this belief, this is who I am, believe me, you will only see the evidence when you look of the times where confidence has been hard, maybe fear and doubt have been loud or pervasive. Because when you have a belief about your identity, about who I am, you look through those glasses, and that is true for all of us. So let's say I believe that I'm really good at building relationships. I just believe that to be true about myself. I will see all of the evidence in my life for where I'm really good at building relationships. And I probably won't see as much evidence for the times where I might not have been as good at it. But that's fine, because generally, if I believe that I'm good at building relationships, it helps me to meet people. It helps me to feel comfortable when I'm meeting people. It helps me to feel generally positive that it's possible to build a good relationship with somebody. And therefore, I'm kind of quite calm about it, and I'm quite open, and I'm interested in people, and I'm curious. And what do you know, from there, I probably build good relationships with people. But imagine I thought I am bad at building relationships with people. That's who I am. That's how I am. I will see all the evidence for the relationships that I haven't been able to build. And also, when I am going into any interaction, if that is my prevailing belief, then it's going to make it harder for me because I'm probably going to clam up a bit and I'm going to get in my head and I'm going to be nervous and I'm going to be wondering, are they going to like me? How's this going to land? And I'm not going to be able to be myself from there. And the same thing is true when it comes to confidence. It is not a personality thing. It is not who you are. But when we adopt that as our prevailing belief, it definitely will have an impact on how we feel. Now, I'm not denying that there may be real challenges and issues for you around confidence at work. I know that is what we are here for. However, if you believe this is just my personality, this is just who I am, this is just how I am, then I know that even if you listen to this podcast every week for the next 2 years, you're probably unlikely to make much progress. Because making progress on your confidence is fundamentally incompatible with who and how you believe yourself to be. So this is something I find myself challenging with clients when they tell me, yeah, this is just how I am. And I'll want to know, okay, is this how you are every single minute of every day? Or if I ask your brain to go to a place and look for the evidence of where the alternative is true, could you find me something? Are there any moments in your day where you feel perfectly fine, where you don't have a lot of doubt and fear, where you are getting on with something, or you are feeling okay, you are having a conversation, you are doing whatever it is you need to do with the amount of confidence that you need to do it? The reality is you're probably going to tell me, yeah, I can find some evidence for that. And if you can find some evidence for that, then it isn't just who you are and how you are, because that isn't you 100% of the time. So is it true to say that that is at a fundamental level who and how you are? Is it true that that's your personality if it's not true all the time? Even if you have to go outside of work for the evidence, and I've done this with a client before, they told me it is my personality to be quiet, to be shy, to be nervous, to be hesitant, to hold back. And I was like, oh, okay. What are you like outside of work? You know, when you're with your people? And she said, oh, I'm actually quite loud. I'm quite chatty. I've got opinions. I really like to debate with people. And, you know, I'm quite like, I'm quite out there. I was like, oh, so is it true that it's your personality to be hesitant and doubting and shy and fearful? Which is her real personality? Who is she? And sometimes you can see it's almost as if a metal cage is like springing open on a client's head when suddenly the possibility that this belief they've had that they are just fundamentally like this and there's not really anything that they can do about it pings off. And suddenly they are open to the possibility that maybe this isn't who I am. Maybe this doesn't have to be how I am. Maybe things could be different. Another way I love to think about it is if I put you in your workplace and all of the things that you have to do, the interactions, the meetings, the speaking, the, you know, getting on with your work, whatever. If I put you in all of those scenarios, but I surgically removed your ability to have any doubt and any fear, then how would you be? Then what would you be like? And most people tell me, yeah, I'd be like this, or I'd be like that, or I'd be getting on with this, or I'd be doing that. So which is your real personality? The one who feels fine getting on with things and enjoys chatting to people and all the rest of it? Or the one who shows up when all the fear and doubt is there? I don't think that is who you are. It might be how you are when fear and doubt are in charge. When fear and doubt are the ones in the driving seat, when they're calling the shots, when you're looking through their eyes, it colours everything. And it makes you believe this is just who I am. This is how I am. But it isn't true. Do that experiment for yourself. If fear and doubt were replaced by two other things that you would love to have, love to feel while you were going about your day, what would they be for you? Hope and trust, peace and calm, focus and energy. If we implanted those in you and sent you about your day at work, then who are you? Then how are you? Then what is your personality? I bet you any amount of money, it's not the same. But this does give us some clues. And I hope it gives you a clue as to what we might need to remove or turn down to enable who you actually are, what your personality actually is, the actual, people say, authentic me. If we remove the worries and the doubts, would you be actual you? True to who you really are inside? The personality that comes out of you automatically when you feel comfortable with people and when you feel calm and when you feel like you belong somewhere. What's your actual personality then? When you're with your family or your people, that is your real personality. That is who you are. And the only reason that that can't come out in those moments is because of that doubt and that worry and those beliefs that you have. So all I really want to leave you with today is take heart. If you have even any little moments where your personality or who you are really comes out and they're different than the you're feeling at work right now, that means that things can change. It's not who you are and how you are, full stop. It might be how you're feeling right now while you're in a low confidence cycle. But if we got you into a high confidence cycle and put you back in those exact situations, my guess is you'd be totally different. Even if it didn't look different on the outside, how different would it feel on the inside? How much weight would be lifted? How much more space would there be inside your head? I just want you to notice today that even if you think this whole low confidence thing is your personality, is who you are, is how you are, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I invite you to just gently notice if there's even the slightest possibility that you could be wrong. Is there even the slightest possibility that I could be right about you? And even if it was the slightest possibility, like a glimmer, what would that mean for you? What does it mean for you? What could it mean for you if low confidence or panic or worry or doubt isn't who you are, isn't your personality? And actually, who you are and your real personality is something else entirely. All right, that's what I have for you today. If you want to come and work with me, you can go to the link in the show notes and book a call to explore private coaching. Or come and join the Confident at Work program. If you're listening to this in real time, we had our first live skills training on Monday this week, and it was great. It was great to get women together, all capable women in the same room, looking at and building the skills that they need to feel more confident at work. If you'd like to be a part of it, you are very welcome. Head to the link in the show notes, click the link and come and talk to me about it. All right, I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident. Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident. confident at work.